Good morning. It's a bit of a mixed bag yesterday with the Cup and Bundesliga and La Liga. Let's take a look through. 0-0 at half-time. It would have been a bit of a stretch to imagine that these two could conjure up a 0-0. The right team scored first if you laid the draw. Leipzig, as soon as you lay the draw odds will rise markedly when the favourite scores the first goal. Could have been a 2-1 win, but ended up a score draw. Good result for Werder Bremen, continuing to score and not concede after they've equalised. So lay the draw there. Dortmund and Mainz. This would have predicated thinking that Mainz wouldn't be scoring that second goal. We could have done with Mainz scoring first here. Could have done a very late lay the draw. 1.25 drip late on. Mainz, despite not scoring, have been showing a good defensive bent, haven't they? Particularly with a recent draft of under 2.5 goal matches. Going through a bit of a sticky patch now. Dortmund, 3 consecutive score draws. Scoring and conceding consistently without winning. Bit of a troubling time. Hoff and Darmstadt. Well, I don't know how to do the Hoff. I would have laid the draw at 2-2. Hoff and Darmstadt. We've got the Hoffenheim goal at 3-2. But as is typical of the Hoff, they concede a very late goal. An assist by Michelle Pfeiffer. So it's good to see her up and about again. In La Liga, lay the draw second half. Valencia score first. Draw odds rise. Well, I hope they rise. It's 2.25 the favourite. But if you did lay the draw, well done. Atletico Madrid. Not all red-carded sides are gettable. Savic red-carded early. And then Antoine Griezmann turning up with a goal. Would you have laid Atletico Madrid 1-0 up with a red card? The thing going for you is you would have had shorter odds about Atletico Madrid. Good stuff from Getafe, making it 1-1, then a 2-1, 3-1. And this is a big slip up, wasn't it, late on for Atletico Madrid. You'd have thought with 10 men, if you can get ahead 3-1, it's job done, but no. Wouldn't have called that late on. Granada and Sevilla, 2.45 the favourite. Could have been any old scoreline. I think it would be an interesting exercise to go back as far back as we can go and just look at how 2.4 plus the favourite matches, what kind of results we've been getting, because they're imponderables actually. Can't really find any patterns. In the English EFL Cup, well, we've got that equaliser from Chelsea eventually. This is the good element of insurance, laying over 1.5 goals. Cover that 0-1 for Newcastle. Just sit back and wait. The in-play stats are with you. The market got them right as well. And they got a very late equaliser with Mudryk. Could have done the same with Everton. Arguably, it's one I missed out this. And if Everton are keeping clean sheets in the Premier League and they concede in this EFL quarter-final, they're unlikely to concede a second goal. So that opens the door up to a possible lay of the 0-1 scoreline and a look for Everton to equalise. Portsmouth and AFC Wimbledon. I got this mixed up with the EFL quarter-finals. So I thought Pompey would be up for it. And indeed, they scored 2 goals. 0-3 down was the time to get AFC Wimbledon. It's worth doing. It's a 1.7 shot at home, 0-3 down with 2/3 of the match to go. And things were looking up with a 1-3 before half-time. You'd thought that would be the catalyst with a half-time team talk for a Pompey recovery, but no. What a pity. They did score 2 goals, but not in the right order. It should have been 1-3, 2-3. Then we'd have got a very exciting odds move. French Ligue 2 didn't really play there yesterday. That was about it last night. Napoli. Again, this is just a gentle reminder. If we start going into the cup, are these sides really up for it? Well, quite clearly the answer is 0-4. That's the answer. Absolutely no interest in the cup from Napoli. This was very, very disappointing. Based purely on the in-play stats. Looking at Elche, absolutely dominated the first half. And this is the problem again, going into these second-tier leagues that we haven't necessarily researched. You're looking at the in-play stats if they've got them here. This is why I went 1-0, 2-0 in the half-time score market. For Elche, 11 shots on, 5 off. A lot more compelling with my in-play stats feed. But second half, well, they just couldn't cross the line. It's very disappointing. The way to avoid a loss here is to either employ a lay 1-4 staking plan, have that loss put to one side to be won back eventually. That keeps you in the game. Turkish one leg, nothing much doing there either. On to today, and let's have a look. French League 1. I've not researched, but I think a good exercise would be to look at the challenge table for each of these matches. So let's have a quick look. And of course, why don't you read the previews? It's too competitive a league for me to put on my roster at the moment. But you can have a quick look. Challenge tables. Probably the best way to go to the challenge tables is FC Stats in this regard. So let's have a look. FC Stats is a dedicated stats website, and it does have the main advantage of having a challenge table for every league where Soccer Stats may not. So let's have a look through. Brest and Lyon. So you can see already 5th against 16th. So we know that Lyon are having a poor season. Having a look at Brest at home. Only lost the first in the league. So this is a very quick way to research matches using the challenge table. Only lost the first in the league at home. Only lost to the top 6 home and away. Playing 16th today, who it looks as if they've already beaten 1-0 this season. But, oh, it's Lorient they're playing. My apologies. Lorient just below them. So they haven't played Lorient yet, but they've beaten Lorient 17th. They've beaten 16th and 18th without conceding. So you've got an automatic bent towards Brest today. Lyon. As the train goes by. Okay, we're going to Lorient. I keep getting mixed up with Lyon. So Lorient. Again, no win away from home. Failing to score against the top 10 away from home. So you've automatically got an idea now of what to expect in the Brest-Lyon match. Clermont and Rennes. Clermont are bottom of the league. Rennes are, well, not having a good season in 13th. But Clermont, bottom of the league, should automatically have you favouring the away side, shouldn't it? Their only wins, Clermont, have come against bottom 3 sides. At home, they failed to score in 6 matches against the top 14. And they are playing 13th today. 3 of their defeats have only been 0-1, so do watch out for a tight defensive match. Indeed, a couple of 0-0s as well, including against Paris Saint-Germain for Clermont. That's their modus operandi at home. They will get the odd spanking against Monaco and Lens. They've conceded 7 goals. But let's have a look at their opponents. Rennes, away from home, using the challenge table at fcstats.com. No win away for Rennes. 1-2, 3-0 nils, failing to score in 5 away matches. Now, I'm suspecting that the odds for this particular match are going to be 2.4 the favourite, 2.3 the favourite. There we go. That tells a story, doesn't it? That's why I don't research 2.3 the favourite. Lyon and Nantes. Pay attention to the market here. I won't do anything more research-wise. Lyon are really in a strange position. I don't know how on earth they ended up bottom 3. This is a solid side, well, at least historically. But when the market speaks, they get it right. Like with Union Berlin. Lyon, in their last match, were 1.8 favourites against Toulouse, and they won 3-0. They're 1.73 favourite today against Nantes. I will leave you with that. We expect, well, if the market's as accurate as it was against Toulouse, we'll expect Lyon to perform at home today. They have picked up the odd result now, Lyon, in recent matches. A couple of 0-1 wins and that 3-0 win against Toulouse. Might be turning a corner. Montpellier and Marseille. Please remember there's free previews for you at soccer24.com. Montpellier and Marseille, evens for Marseille away from home. Montpellier, where are they? They're 11th in the league, and Marseille are 6th. So when you research league positions, Montpellier have yet to beat a side in the top 13 home and away. They've scored 2 goals only once against the top 13 at home. It's not looking good against Marseille. Marseille are 6th. Montpellier, 0-1, 0-1 goals scored against the top 8 at home. Looking at Marseille away, they're far better at home, I would suspect, Marseille, given the home support. And they've only lost away from home against the top 7, but they are suffering a bit of score-draw-itis against 9th to 14th. That does suggest, having been unbeaten home and away against 8th and lower, that you'd be favouring Marseille, even if their opponent score first today. Let's go and have a look at the odds. The odds are your first clue. 2.3 the favourite, Nice and Lens. That, I suspect, is going to be a tight match. Nice 2nd in the league, Lens 7th. Nice were very, very poor last match. Woeful against newly promoted Le Havre, getting absolutely done. 3-1 loss away at Le Havre. It's a real problem with Nice with over 2.5 goals. They don't do them. They've only done 1 over 2.5 goal match at home. They don't lose at home, despite the under 2.5 goal bias, and they've scored 2 goals on 3 occasions at home, which is a positive for Nice. They're playing Lens today in 7th, and they've beaten 6th, 8th and 9th. Well, what to make of that Le Havre defeat? Looking at Lens away from home, they lost 3-1 against 1st, 3-0 against 3rd, 3-2 against 5th, and they are playing, I'll try to remember, 2nd. So you've got an inference here that Lens find the top 5 just too much. That's not reflected in the market though. So it's intriguing, isn't it? Nice, 2.3 the favourite. Paris Saint-Germain against Metz, well, I'm not going to research that. 1.17 the favourite. 20-minute rule may apply here. I say may. It's all down to the in-play stats, isn't it? But if you miss the 20-minute mark, aim for the 30-minute mark. You get even better odds. And you still have a chance of a goal before half-time. 3-0, 3-1, any other home score for Paris Saint-Germain. That's expected. Reims against Le Havre. As I say, Le Havre, newly promoted. Reims, 8th in the league. Le Havre, 10th in the league. Le Havre having a good season. Let's have a look at Reims' home form. Reims have exclusively lost at home to the top 5. That suggests an ability to cope against 9th and lower. Indeed, 4 out of 4 wins, scoring 2+ goals in 3 occasions. They meet 10th in the league. They haven't played 10th to 15th at home yet this season, so a slight gap in form. Looking at Le Havre away, they were excellent against Nice with home advantage. Away from home, only the 1 win, 1-2 against Toulouse. A raft of score draws against 11th and lower. They've lost 3-0 against 6th away and 2-1 against 9th away. You'd be slightly favouring the home side Reims here today. Does the market? Yes, 1.73. Strasbourg and Lille, 1.95 the favourite, nearly evens. Strasbourg, where are they? 9th in the league. Lille are 4th. So you'd be favouring 4th on paper. But Strasbourg are yet to meet the top 5 at home. Question mark, how do we know how they're going to perform against the top 5? Are they going to be up their game, or are they going to capitulate? They did draw 1-1 to Marseille. That was a good result. But their wins, sporadic wins, have come against 10th and lower. So I'm not sure they can really do it today. Strasbourg. Yeah, well, Lille, very strong. Strasbourg at home, sorry. Yeah, Lille away. So let's have a look at Lille's away form. Strongly favoured today, Lille. And indeed, they're only 2 losses all season. But touch of the old draw-itis away from home. 5 draws, a couple of them 0-0s, 3 of them score draws. They do have the ability to score 2 goals. They've done that on 3 occasions against 10th and lower. And with Strasbourg, 9th, they're just on the cusp of being the kind of side that Lille could eye 2 goals against. You can see 10th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 16th. They've scored 2 goals against, at least, and 3rd. So slightly favouring Lille here this evening. Toulouse and Monaco. Monaco favourite today. Toulouse should be down the bottom. Indeed, they're bottom 4. in the Europa League, Toulouse could be the reason for poor performance. I've got to change this to the 2023-2024 season and French Ligue 1. So we're looking at Toulouse home form. They've only lost one home match, but they've drawn 5. So it does suggest they might be vulnerable if scoring first to lose today. Had a couple of 1-1s against the top 8, and they're playing third in the league today. They've not beaten a top 11 side home or away. Monaco having a very good season, lighting up the in-play stats on occasion as well. They've only really lost against the top 4, 3 losses against the top 4. They did lose 16th 0-1 at home, but away from home against 5th to 14th, they are unbeaten home and away. You would be favouring Monaco today. They've scored 2+ goals away from home in 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 matches. That's really good momentum coming into this. So that's a quick look at French Ligue 1. If you wanted to research these leagues quickly, I would recommend the challenge table because particularly at this stage of the season, the form is pretty much trusting and embedded, and there's some real strong patterns, isn't there? Some sides only tend to lose to the top 5, for example. Let's look elsewhere. Barcelona, Almeria. Almeria yet to win a match. That's the only real thing you need to know here. We expect Barcelona to score at least 3 goals, get a breakthrough before half-time, etc., etc. We're not expecting Almeria to end their losing run. They've had a couple of 0-0s at home. They're getting close to it, and they did have a goal disallowed against Mallorca, but it'd be very stretching the bounds to think that Almeria would end their losing run away at Barcelona. Atletico Bilbao having an excellent season. Las Palmas may have to wait to gather more points. Coming off the back of a win against one of the Madrid sides. I can't remember which one. I think it's Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid, I think. Comprehensive win. Scoring 3-2, 4-4-2 goals at home as well. I can't see Las Palmas landing a blow. Las Palmas do their best work at home. They are tough to beat. They've had 5 1-0 defeats, so do prepare for that. But Atletico Bilbao might break that pattern with their very strong 2-4 goal scoring form at home. Villarreal, Celta Vigo, 2.37 the favourite. Now, if you wanted to have a look again, fcstats.com, under leagues, look for Spain. And under Spain, have a quick look. Villarreal at home against Celta Vigo. Celta Vigo find themselves in the bottom 3. Villarreal are only 3 places above. 2 sides in poor form. Villarreal have exclusively lost to the top 9 at home. So that puts them in good stead here today. But they do score and concede. Scored and conceded in all matches bar 1 at home. Celta Vigo, that could be the reason for the market not fancying either side really today. Celta Vigo away from home. Haven't had a win yet. Big gap in form against 12th to 19th. Playing 15th. They've not played 12th to 19th away. How do we know how they're going to perform against 15th? They've had 0-0s against 10th and 11th. It's a match with very few patterns, as suggested by the 2.37 the favourite. German Bundesliga, Union Berlin against Köln. And we're talking about Lyon earlier on. Union Berlin are the same. Twice at home, Union Berlin have been inserted as evens favourites and have got a draw with a late equaliser and a win. They're 1.91 favourite today. That would be something for me to pay attention to. Given the woeful season they've had, the market's inserting them as 1.91 favourite. They've got it right on the last 2 home matches where they scored and conceded without losing. That would be my angle this evening. They are woeful though. They've had a terrible season. Bayer Leverkusen, well, usual rules apply. We're expecting a goal before half-time, expecting an avalanche of goals for Bayer. 3+ goals expected today. No 0-0 at half-time. You'd expect goals before half-time. Bochum, 3 wins, only 1 away, only 1 loss since the 27th of October. So they could be set up to be tough to beat, Bochum. But surely Bayer Leverkusen won't let this slide. Eintracht Frankfurt against Borussia Mönchengladbach, 1.8 for Frankfurt. 3 losses in 4 for them. The exception was a 5-1 win against Bayern Munich. I don't understand that form at all. No 0-0 at half-time in 10 matches for Frankfurt. So look for a goal before half-time. Borussia Mönchengladbach are excellent at home. They can be trusted at home. But away from home, 4-3-1-3-3, 4-3 goals conceded. Goodness me. And total goals in matches away, 6-6-8, 4-4-4-6. So those of you wanting to speculate, you might want to look at over 3.5 goals, over 4.5 goals, even over 5.5 goals, particularly if Eintracht Frankfurt can unlock the kind of form they showed with the 5 goals against Bayern. Could be an absolute goal fest this evening. Heidenheim and Frankfurt, 2.3 the favourite. Again, just pay attention to the markets, telling us both sides are given a chance. Only the one loss at home recently for Heidenheim, who've won 4 of the last 6 home matches. Really good stuff. They've scored first in 6 out of 7 matches at home. That could give you a trading angle if you fancy Freiburg. Freiburg may have been impacted by European football, but now they're looking pretty good. They've just lurched into positive mode. 2 consecutive 0-1 away wins, 3 consecutive clean sheets, 3 0-0s at half-time as well. They've only lost to the top 5 this season, Freiburg. And that seems to be dismissed by the market, doesn't it? 2.3 the favourite. Why? Because Heidenheim look very good at home, the newly promoted side. Interesting match. Stuttgart and Augsburg. Stuttgart, 4th in the league, playing a top 10 side. 100% win record at home against 9th and lower. Only one loss since the 22nd of October for Augsburg came in the last match against Werder Bremen. 4 1-1 draws in the last 6 suggests if Augsburg score, they're likely to be vulnerable. Wolfsburg against Bayern Munich. 8 out of 11 goals scored at home have come first half for the Wolf. So we're expecting at least a goal before half-time. Bayern had that brain fart against Frankfurt, that 5-1 loss pre-Champions League against Man U. Came from nowhere. They've scored in the last 14 and the last 7 away. 100% wins home and away against 10th and lower. And they're playing 9th today. So is that winning pattern going to extend to 9th? English League Cup, Liverpool against West Ham. We'll just see what you saw yesterday. Everton coming back from behind to get a 1-1 draw. Chelsea coming back to get a 1-1 draw. Don't forget the draws are important in cup matches. They are in play. So you can't really lay the draw, I would suggest, in cup matches. Sides might be looking for the draw. Any other matches of interest for this evening? I'll have my eye on Cercle Brugge, 1.3 favourite. Got us a nice trade at the weekend. They were odds on away from home, 1-0 down, ended up winning 1-2. I'm glad 1 or 2 members of the live chat got onto that one. Elsewhere, Premier League International Cup. Not sure if the over 2.5 goal bias for the under-21s will continue. Aris Thessaloniki and Panathinaikos, both odds-on favourites in the Greek Super League. I'll have my eye on those. Although the last odds-on favourites in the Greek Super League, Olympiakos needed a penalty to get a 1-0 win at 1.36. And AEK Athens, I think, were 2-0 up, ended up drawing 2-2. So woeful stuff from the odds-on shots. Liga Ha'al, Maccabi Haifa, 1.36 favourite stands out there. Hapoel Beersheva got us a very good trade midweek. Just based on the in-play stats, because they weren't fancied. But the in-play stats were emphatic. They're playing Maccabi Tel Aviv today. That's going to be a tougher match. Coppa Italia, just look at Napoli yesterday. Are Inter Milan up for the cup? It's a 1.5 favourite. I don't know. It's very hard to trust after what Napoli didn't do yesterday. 0-4 against Frosinone. Obviously playing, I don't know, the manager's daughter up front or something like that. Then the Dutch Cup, we've got some familiar names. Feyenoord at home, 1.29 favourite. AZ Alkmaar away at Hardenberg, 1.2 favourite. Plenty of goals in there last night. And some trading angles. It's all whether you can get on with the liquidity. Scottish Premier League, I didn't research. It looks rather obvious. Rangers, 1.14 favourite against St Johnstone. So I've got a possible 20-minute rule there. I'll be on hand for that. Aberdeen were involved with Rangers in the League Cup final at the weekend. Rangers getting a second half goal. 1.7 favourite at home to Livy today. And again, I can do a little bit quick look at the research. If you really want to research matches quickly, let's go to Scotland. Let's look at the Aberdeen match. You need to know where these two are in relation to each other. Aberdeen and Livingston. Aberdeen are 10th in the league. Livingston are 12th of 12. So you've got 2 bottom 3 sides. So Aberdeen having an unexpectedly poor season. They did beat Hearts, 3rd in the league and 9th in the league at home. But they've lost against 1st, 5th and 6th. They've yet to play a team below them at home. But note, they did draw 0-0 with Livy away from home. and a 2-4 win against 11th away from home. So they might be able to cope. They did get a 4-0 win against 9th at home. They're playing Livingston, bottom of the league today. Look at Livingston's away form. And don't forget, when you're researching, do focus mostly on home form for the home side, away form for the away side. Livingston are playing Aberdeen. They've yet to play the bottom 3 away from home. They have drawn against 8th and 9th away, so they might be able to cope. They did only lose 1-0 against 7th, and they had a 2-3 win against 6th. So I think Livingston might be more competitive than the market suggests there. 1.7 the favourite. Aberdeen today. Looks a bit ropey. Spanish La Liga 2. Well, you saw yesterday with Elche. Can we trust this league? Elche absolutely dominated the match from start to finish. Just couldn't score a goal. Ibar odds on today. The other 2 matches, 2.2 the favourite. Turkish 1 League, Turkish Super League. Got our familiar names. Ayopspor. Great. Diddly T-Bags. 2.1 away from home today. Galatasaray, very strong favourite. 1.2, 20-minute rule possibly today. Fenerbahce, the other big boys, are at 1.4 favourite away. That's 2 o'clock kick-off. And we've got Antalyaspor, 1.73 favourite today as well. So it's a bustling coupon, particularly with French League 1. I don't know how long I'll last this evening. It's 8. That's a 3 a.m. start for me. But it looks, I'll be here for the early kickoffs, certainly. And I'll see you over at the chat feed throughout the day. Just be careful with cup matches. You saw yesterday Napoli completely couldn't be bothered. Inter Milan, question mark. Liverpool, West Ham, use your in-place stats. West Ham coming off the back of that excellent win against Wolves. And if they're stopping Wolves from scoring for the first time ever against Gary O'Neill, how might they cope against a Liverpool who might change some of the team squad? It's going to be a fascinating match. I'll see you a bit later on.